Music for this episode of About to Break is provided by Cat Beach Music. Whether you're looking to score an entire film or just need to find the perfect vibe for your next commercial project, our friends Bobby and Jen Hartree have what you're looking for. Check them out today at catbeachmusic.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good middle of the night, whenever you choose to listen to podcasts. For me, it's usually driving through the middle of the night in Nowheresville, USA, trying to get to Somewheresville to do a show. Oh my goodness, I got that raspy morning voice thing. I stinking love it though. Do you like it? You know when you wake up and you hear your voice for the first time? Have you ever done that thing where you call someone and you haven't spoken yet? And it's like an important phone call. I did this the other day. I called someone. It was like an important business phone call. I hadn't spoken yet that morning. And when I answered the phone, I was like, hello. They're like, whoa, creepy creepster. It's May. I can't stinking believe it. Where did the rest of the year go? I know it's cliche to say, but it's flying by quick. We just had the incredible Upland Lemon Festival. I don't know if you realize this, but Upland, California, where we live, it's basically, it feels like a Hallmark Channel movie. Once a year, they do this massive festival downtown. It's put on by the same people that put on the LA County Fair. And they just cram this whole carnival fair atmosphere in the middle of the city. And so we've been down there with friends every day. Katie's been selling furniture out of her friend's shop, the Rusty Gypsy. It's been so cool. Come visit Upland sometime. I love it. It's like a little oasis in the middle of Southern California. This week on the podcast, we have Morgan J. Morgan, a hilarious comedian and incredible musician, could do one or the other by themselves, and you'd be like, I'm so satisfied musically or comedically. He's fantastic. And yet he puts them together to create this very, very, very unique musical comedy act. And I'm so excited to have him here on the show. In a moment, I'm going to play one of his tracks so you can get a vibe for him before we get into the conversation. Morgan just did our About to Break live show. We did the Low Bar Variety Hour, and it was so fun. Everybody who performed on the show did brand new material, and I sat down with Morgan to record before that show, so that's what you're going to hear today. Our next Low Bar Variety Hour is going to be on May 22nd. I'll be promoting that soon, but mark your calendars. May 22nd at the Clubhouse in LA. May 16th, I'll be in Atlanta at Smith's Old Bar. And I'm really, really looking forward to that show. We got a lot of friends in the ATL, and we've been wanting to come there for a while. So come check it out. You can get information for that and all the other show dates at my website, taylorhughes.com/live. And that will take you to where you can get tickets. I hope to see you at a live show. Thank you again to all the producers for making this possible. If you want to support us on Patreon, we would be forever grateful, and we'll send you some goodies for becoming one of the producers. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us make these shows possible. Thank you to everyone who's been doing that. Thank you to everyone who's been coming to live shows, and big thank you as well to everyone who's been dropping notes on social media and sending us emails, letting us know what you enjoy about the show, and for suggestions on future guests. So appreciate that. But I know that you're going to love this one. Sit back, relax, and enjoy episode 71, my conversation with Morgan J.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Something is about to break.
Okay, this song is about text fighting, and it's called ... 7 o'clock on a Friday, I'm all alone. Gonna text my girlfriend on her iPhone. Hey babe, do you wanna go see a movie? Right away she hits me back. Tonight I'm not free. What you doing? I'm going dancing. Can I come? No. Tonight it's just me and my girlfriends. Well, maybe after I can see you, I'll wait a moment or two and then I see ... And then the typing stops. What was she gonna say? I need to know. Maybe I miss you, then she dropped her cell phone. There's got to be a good explanation, but Then again, she hasn't used an exclamation point in like 3 days. Instead, at the end of all her sentences, she uses periods. I thought she loved me. I gotta know, girl, why so serious? And she stopped using LOLs. We've been drifting apart, I can tell. Dot, 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 dot. And then the typing stops. 10 o'clock. Gonna drop her a message just saying hi. I'll wait and I'll wait. Before I know it, I send not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 consecutive messages. Oh my God, why did I do that? 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 Oh my God, she's typing. Hey, that's all she says. That's kind of whack. I freak out. Where are you? Why don't you text me back? Chill out, babe. Everything's fine. Me and my girls, we at the club, we drinking lots of rosé wine. Okay, just let me know if you need a ride. No thanks, I'll just take an ooh. Guys, there's 5 more minutes left at this part of the song. Uber. Stop it! Stop! Stop! At this point, I lose it! Do you even want to see me tonight? She begs. Can we just talk in person? Too late, now we're in the middle of a fight. You always do this. Do what? You act like a jealous, clingy guy. Well, maybe I wouldn't have to if he didn't say till 3 in the morning every night. He, cat emoji. What does that even mean? Sorry, that was for somebody else. Who? You see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Who was it? Do you really want to have this conversation right now? Like, what are we even doing? Like, what is this? Like, what? Like, what are we, like, what? Like, what? I'm a ghost now. I start typing, and then I stop. I start typing, and then I stop. I'm not sending. She says, what? She finally used an exclamation. But you know what? 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 I'm gonna put my phone away. I'll just wait till the next day. I'll wake up all alone, looking at the train wreck on my iPhone. Will we break up or will we stay together? That's when I see. That's when I see. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot, and then the typing stops.
Hey everybody, welcome to About to Break. I'm your host Taylor Hughes, and today I'm sitting in the clubhouse in LA with the incredible Morgan J, who we're about to do a show. Welcome, Morgan.
Stop it. I'm not incredible, but I appreciate it.
You are. I just did the intro where I told them how incredible you are.
Yes,
so
I appreciate it.
But humility is good.
Yeah. I try to keep it. You have to have a healthy amount of humility. And what's that word that I learned when I was a classics minor? Hubris.
Hubris. Oh, yeah.
Hubris is the hero's downfall.
Yeah. It's like the pride.
So you want to watch your hubris level.
This is pretty deep already.
Hubris is like that thing that it's good to be confident and it's good to believe in yourself. But I think that you should have a healthy amount of self-doubt and insecurity to keep you going.
I've noticed the longer I go in this road of entertainment, man, the self-doubt is like, it doesn't get better. It gets more increasing doubt.
Do you think so?
For me,
I think when I switched to music from stand-up, everything sort of changed for me.
Really?
So when I was doing stand-up, I was doing okay. I had a couple auditions for Montreal. I had like a couple competitions I did okay in, but I felt my material was it just was on the surface, bits and act outs. And not to say that's bad.
But it wasn't you? You felt like
I
there
just
wasn't
felt
enough personal in it? Or?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of heart. I wanted to go deeper. I'd heard all these interviews and podcasts with comedians who were like 10 years in and they were like, I threw away all my material and I found the thing that I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so then I switched to music. Well, I took a summer to try it out. And people really, really liked it.
We were just talking beforehand about how this is like your first year
with fans,
where it's like all of a sudden you've got fans.
I do. I don't know how many. I don't think I have like a lot of fans, but I do have strangers messaging me for tickets or how to see me perform.
Yeah.
I got this one guy who I think his name is Edgardo.
Okay.
Martinez.
Yeah.
And he has emailed me through my website.
Okay.
4 or 5 times for different shows. I don't even know if he showed up. He got tickets to a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I put him on lists and stuff because it means so much to me that somebody was interested enough to just come to a show.
And he's hit you up like multiple times.
And the funny thing is he always goes through my website and he has my personal email at this point. So I told him, I said, hey man, you could just email me. Yeah. It's not a big deal.
Right.
And I told him, if you see me at a show, come say hi because I want to say hello to you.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know, but he's come to multiple shows. I was doing shows, maybe it was last year. A girl had come to one of my shows and she was talking to me and she was like, I've actually seen you like 4 times and I just never said hello to you. And I was like, what?
Yeah, this feels weird.
Are you kidding me? This is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, more and more when I was on tour, I was passing through Georgia, for example, and like a person hit me up. They saw that I was in Georgia, said, are you doing any shows in Georgia? I would love to see. I don't know them.
Yeah.
And, it's really cool. So the point is we were talking a little bit about podcasts and why we do it.
Right.
For me, it's just one more way to connect with my audience and hopefully build it to another audience because people seem to like the podcast that I'm doing right now. So
yeah, we'll talk a little bit about your podcast.
So I have a podcast.
Such a fun.
Yeah, it's called Relationship Status with Morgan J, myself. And every episode we talk to a couple or a single person at some point in their relationship. So either they got divorced, they just fell in love, they're newly separated, newly single, newly moved in together, married. I mean, the couple that I'm interviewing on Sunday they have been married for 37 years.
Wow. And
they agreed to do it because they saw me perform and I plugged the podcast. And in my set, I do a lot of investigating in the beginning of the show and I do a lot of crowd work just because I bring it back into the set later. But I talked to them about it. They seem like they're down, and it's going to be a new experience for me because I will not have done a pre-interview. Maybe I should give them a call and just.
I'd say just go cold, man.
I think I should go cold because sometimes when you have that pre-interview, though, I wonder if it builds a certain level of trust and it gives them the opportunity to open up a little bit. Like the girl I'm interviewing on Thursday. Yeah, we were shooting something together this weekend, and she opened up to me on set about. There was like a sexual abuse thing that happened to her and she's willing to talk about it on the podcast. And like she had a boyfriend who hit her once or twice and she told me about that. Man. So things about that she's going to tell me about. And she's dating one of my friends. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Yeah. So
yeah, I can see with yours how you probably want to give that disclaimer. I mean, for me, one of the reasons why I mentioned that I edit it is I tell people, look, if you're driving home today and you go, oh, I shouldn't have told that story, or I didn't ask my friend if they were cool with me sharing that, I'll take it out. But then that way people know they can say whatever they want here. Yeah. And they know it's not going to go to air unless they like.
The last episode that I posted, my roommate is in the episode, and he talks about a really bad date he had with an older woman. Yeah. And then he shared it. In the description, it says that. And the woman apparently still follows. He went on one bad date with this girl, and she DM'd him about it. And she said, I hope I wasn't that bad of a date. And I felt so bad because I thought, man, also, it's anonymous. I don't put last names. People, unless they're a comedian who, at the end, they could plug their stuff if they want to. But this couple on Sunday, I'll be like, if you want, you don't have to give your name or anything like that. I won't make you do it because I'd rather have an honest conversation than somebody be like, I'm holding back, Because that's what I'm all about. I like to talk about it openly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's rad, too, because you're not just getting the same type of couple. You know what I mean?
No, like it's a different experience.
And it shares, because very few people, I don't know about you, but like until I got into a relationship, I didn't know.
They don't tell you shit.
Yeah. Nobody prepares you for life. Nothing prepares you for life. They don't tell you anything. And then you start dating, and then like my wife and I started dating in high school, and we're married now.
Well, maybe we'll talk about it on another episode, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So
how long has it been for you guys?
15 years we've been married. And we dated for 6 years.
You met in high school.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy Chicago. Were you guys each other's? This is, I mean, I get so excited. I'm so interested in it.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Were you guys each other's first?
Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, bro.
We got a lot to talk about, but we'll save it. We'll save it for the podcast.
One and only, man.
We'll save it for my podcast.
We'll do it. Well, we were talking about, I'm so intrigued. You said, I didn't know that you went from stand-up to music because your music involves a lot of comedy. I mean,
I did stand up for 6 years in New York City. It started when I was 20. It's hard.
You started in New York.
Yeah. It's hard for me to admit that I've been doing it for 11 years because in your head, you're like, I thought I'd be farther along at this point. Right? But I feel like I'm right where I need to be. Also, I had a lot of false starts. So I started in New York. Yep. I guess my first open mic, I was 18 or 19. It was the first week of college. Yeah. And then I was in theater school, so I didn't really do it after that. Yep. But then around sophomore year, I want to say, I did it for the first time at a comedy club. I called them up, did 5 minutes. All my friends came. I fucking murdered. But then a couple months.
Was it like the very next show you were like, what happened? The first one was great.
No, the first couple shows went all right because I went to school in New York and I had family that lived in the area. So it was easy to get people to come out those first couple months. And then I did a show at Caroline's on Broadway. And
oh my gosh.
I have a clip of it online. And I saved it.
You saved
from 2007.
It's like out there? It's in the wild?
I actually went back and I posted I uploaded all of my YouTube, all my performances. As many as I could because I figured in the long run, I lost a hard drive a long time ago with all of them.
Oh, you'd rather have it out there somewhere.
Well, yeah, exactly. And they're just, and in the long run, if I, make it big, I will make them all public. So every up and coming comic can see the
progression. Dude, that's beautiful, man.
Because I think everybody, when you start out, you think that you got to murder. Yeah. And if you're, I feel like there's several kinds of comedians. There are ones that do it out of insecurity. Right. There's ones that do it because they don't give a shit about like anything. Like there's people who get into it who already have like that confidence of they don't care. Yeah. And they just treat it like a job, They're just like, I guess I can do this. Yeah. But there's some people who, like me, I started because I wanted girls to like me. Yeah. I didn't realize that until I was doing a show in Brooklyn and there were only dudes in the crowd.
You're like,
and I was about to go on stage.
I don't got any material.
It wasn't even that. I wasn't motivated
You're like,
to perform.
Why would I even go
I don't want any of these dudes to have sex with me.
Dude, that's amazing.
So it was a weird epiphany and I had to really reckon with, all right, so now you know why you're really doing this. Yeah. Do you still want to do it? Yeah. Because you could really do anything. Right. So, I just kept doing it. But, okay, so 6 years stand-up. It was going well. New York was great. Yeah. It's like a gym. You can get up a lot. I felt like I was pretty good at it.
And you felt pretty welcome, like in the community, or is it like that's not a thing? Like you don't ever get to that point in New York.
There is, and maybe a part of it's me being insecure and projecting on other people, but there's the alt scene, right? And there's the club, and I was performing mostly in the alt scene,
which tends to be a little more friendly and acceptable. And
I don't know, because here's the thing: I'm a nice guy, and my stand up at the time was very act outy bits. I at one point was somebody had compared me to Dane Cook, which I didn't take as a insult or anything because he's a funny guy at times, and he's good at his. Here's the thing: I look at comedy objectively.
Okay.
And like when I used to book shows, I would book people that I personally maybe didn't like or wasn't friendly with, like as them as a person. But I was like, they kill and they're funny every time they do a show.
Well, and you're putting the show together and you're looking for what adds value to that.
Variety. I treat it much as very much as a meritocracy.
Yeah.
And so in New York, I was doing these act outy bits, and maybe I was projecting, but I just didn't feel like I was doing these alty cynical. I basically am not a comics comic, and I wasn't doing bits to make the comedians in the back of the room laugh. Do you know what I'm talking about?
And even then, you just get a nod.
And even then, you get a nod.
Yeah.
Even then, you get a nod,
or you get some guy who goes, "I'm just so you know, I'm working on a bit."
Yeah. And in New York, I performed a lot of music venues and music open mics. Those were the best places to perform because you get a crowd of like 20, 30 people.
Right.
You get a longer set. Nobody there's a comic. And then it's great. And then you could actually try your bits because, I always joke when I'm doing an open mic and I see comedians bombing at an open mic and then they're like, oh, this is terrible. And then I go up there and I'm like, you're not going to be doing a theater of 2,000 comics.
Right.
You got to,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember there was an open mic in New York City that Ali Wong would go to, and I'd go to it. And every week she came into the same 5-minute set.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like, I got to bring new stuff every week. There's new people, I got to.
Yeah.
She was doing the same 5-minute every week. And I was just like, what
prepping for late night.
Yeah. She was just hammering out her set.
Jeez, that's so
smart.
And
man. She didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? She didn't give a shit about. I'm sorry if I'm swearing. I don't know if this.
Oh, this is a swearing podcast.
Okay.
It's not a swear. I mean, that's not
I just saw that. Yeah.
Say whatever you want, man.
I just saw that and I was like, man, I couldn't do it at the time. I didn't have it. Now, since I'm doing the music, I've had to have another level of confidence. Also doing this, like I did 30 colleges this year.
Yeah.
And, you're making a living.
Right.
You're
performing for real people.
Real people. You're doing an hour-long set. Regardless of whether these college students like it or not, you are, you're like a working professional comic. And that was a huge deal for me because when I got back here a couple months ago, in LA, you're like, why am I not on that show?
Right.
That's a big show.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, you don't get paid for that show. And nobody's really going to be there. And who cares? You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you're bringing this up, man, because I live in the world of magicians, which is
it's fascinating.
Fascinating.
I know it is.
It's
crazy.
Scary, fascinating. But there is this whole thing of like, there's guys who have not only designed their act around performing for magicians, but have made a career.
Really? Oh, wow. So it's the same thing.
Because like magic, they have conventions. And they have conferences and they have competitions. And there are guys who just do this circuit of like performing at shows magicians come to watch. Yeah. And to me, it's like, what are you doing?
You're not entertaining magicians. They're not going to be in your crowd.
Right.
They're not going to buy your tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I think about it all the time. And it just gave me another level of confidence and assuaged a certain level of insecurity that I had. Yeah. And now the biggest battle is, writing the next song or the next bit that is as good as the last one. I'm writing a song now that I'm going to try tonight at the show.
Yeah.
And I'm just struggling with it because I'm like, it's funny, but it's like, doesn't. Anyway.
Do you,
I'm probably going to tell some jokes tonight. I don't know how much time we get.
Oh yeah.
But,
dude, do whatever you want. That's the whole point of the show tonight is just try stuff out.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Do you struggle with, because a lot of your stuff is you write a song like your song ... which is, it's based on the relevancy of the fact that when you text somebody and you see the ... unless you're dating some weirdo with an Android, you don't.
Well, even they get it because
do they get it now?
Well, you know what it is. If you use Instagram and you do DMs, you'll see the ...
That's right.
If you use Facebook, you'll see the ...
Right.
So I don't know if Samsung or Droids, I don't think they use it, but you're familiar with it.
Yes.
If you don't,
absolutely. Do you struggle with like not wanting to put a timestamp on your stuff where it's like, I want to do something that's like right now, but like, I don't want to put all this time into something that like in 6 months is not going to.
Oh yeah. I always think about that. I'm trying to write bits that will last as long as possible.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of my songs deal with the idea of love and dating and relationships, because that's what I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
And when I write a song, while that song ... is about those little 3 dots that you see, it's about anxiety.
Right.
And it's about that need, right? So the song I'm writing now is called It's a Trap, about when girls or wives or whoever they are, whatever your partner is, asks you those trap questions like, do you think I look fat? How many people have you slept with?
Right.
Do you think she's pretty? Should I wear makeup tonight? And so on the surface, I have a song that's written now.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy with it because at the core, the song is about insecurity. It's about validation, and it's about selective truth, right? Like, you've been married for 15 years.
Yeah.
So when you've been with somebody that long, what's more important? Complete and utter total honesty, or making that person feel loved and good about themselves at certain times, you know? So you have to pick and choose, right? Because women, and I don't like to generalize, but a large amount of women, they will have these selective truths, right? They ask you this question and they want to know. So you see, like, there's all these little things about this song that, and how do I put that into 2 lines?
Yeah.
So that's the struggle to get, because a lot of my songs have that deep thing at the end. So how do you put that into the song?
You're searching, because there are differences between each individual and each individual relationship, and you're trying to find the common thread.
Yeah, the lowest common denominator
that's going to relate to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm struggling with right now, because I'm going to play it tonight, but I'm going to slash like a verse from it, and which I hate, because it's like, I'm lazy and I'm just like, I want it to be done. And, you know,
I want to talk about that, because we mentioned earlier about like not wanting to edit or not wanting to do stuff. And it's like, I think a lot of people think performers are just like, man, you're a hard worker and you're always traveling. It's like,
well, I think to make money, you have to be, you have to work as hard as somebody would work at a 9 to 5.
Oh yeah.
For the people who get famous, and I was talking to my friend Greg about this, who's also a comedian, really funny guy. We were joking. I was like, dude, I'm not going to be famous. All right. The guys who are like Kevin Hart and The Rock, they sleep 4 hours a day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll never get to that level.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And you can't go to the grocery store.
No, dude, no. I'm happy with, like, we were joking, like maybe $200K a year.
Yeah.
And I would be satisfied with that. There was a time when I was like, I want to be the host of the late night.
Yeah. Yes. I think we all did, man. Like, everybody wanted to.
And then I interned there in college.
Where at?
I interned the last 3 months of Late Night with Conan.
Yes.
And then I interned the first 2 months of Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. So the switch over. And I was so enamored. I loved Conan. The inside. Yeah. And after working there, I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
These dudes, this is a desk job. These guys get here at 10, leave at 7. And this is their whole life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this. This is not me. You know,
it's a golden handcuffs kind of situation.
Yeah, and they're Pope jobs, and I have
Pope jobs.
They're Pope jobs. I didn't even come up with that term, dude. I think it was like a Seinfeld or.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a Pope job, and my agent has given me opportunities to submit packets to these late night shows, and I'm like, no, I said no to it. And which other friends would probably be like, how could you have an in? You can
like a writing gig or like
a writing packet. And I've written a packet or two, but I'm like, I'm a performer, like in the long run, what do you want to do? If you got to look at yourself as a career and not at the moment, right? Like, there are people that are doing better than me right now.
Right.
But it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So,
yeah.
And this year I tell my friend all the time, cause I think he's like 5 years in.
Okay.
And he's exactly his mind. I'm 31 and he's like, 27?
Yeah.
And he's exactly where I was when I was about 5 years in. It's like, you think you deserve everything. It's like you want it all right away. And I had that same mindset.
Yeah.
If you're doing a show, you want somebody to stick around and like watch your set, kind of, if you want, or if you're at an open mic and they don't pull your name or you're just there waiting, you're like, I could be using that time for.
And then when it doesn't happen, you're convinced that if they saw you,
if they saw you,
here are the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah, and that's how I felt when I did that Caroline set. I was like, this is it.
This is it, dude.
This is it. Caroline's on Broadway. And I bombed so hard in front of my family, in front of coworkers, in front of friends. And I remember that night because it was between semesters. And my mom doesn't remember this, but I was in the car ride with my mom and my stepdad, and it was totally silent in the car the whole ride home. And I remember I went home and I cried that night. And right before bed, I fucking cried, dude. Yeah. And I remember I woke up the next day. We went and I had breakfast, and I was talking to my mom, and she said, I didn't say anything last night because you were pretty awful. And he's like, you can do better than that.
Wow. Did that encourage you, or was that a little bit like harsh?
Well, here's the thing.
Hard to swallow all the time.
I would take that over. I mean, listen.
Right.
I'm learning everything's about communication.
Yep.
And there's obviously a way she could have communicated that with more love.
Right.
It could be a little bit of a softer love than tough love. Right. However, given the way I see my peers, I'll take that over everything you do is fantastic. Yeah. Because a lot of people are like really coddled with, Yep. So I'm reading this book right now, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yes.
And it talks about how we're inundated with exceptional people on social media. So all you see is exceptional.
Yeah. And then even normal people only post the great stuff.
Only the great stuff. And then the generation growing up now, and I guess I would be considered a millennial. I'm 87, but yeah, I'm essentially a millennial. But even the generation younger than me, everything they do is great, wonderful, right? So the exceptional people who, like the Rocks and the Kevin Harts, they are not driven by, I'm so great. They are driven by, I got to be better.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good enough yet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think people who don't understand that, like when I was watching Premium Blend when I was in high school. Yeah. And I was like, I think I can do better than this. Yeah. I was inspired not by like greatness. I was inspired by mediocrity. I was like, this isn't, I don't know, I think I can do this, maybe that's a little bit arrogant to say. And 11 years in, I was like, this is very hard. And there's so many more things to it than being funny. Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's no longer about like, is your magic act funny? Like, is it mostly is like it's a funnier,
most of it's funny. Like, it's not like blow your mind. I mean,
no. And I like that. It's entertaining.
Yeah. Well, and this is what I'm curious about. Cause like in the past year you said, is it because you started doing colleges that you feel like you started connecting with a fan base?
No, it's kind of been growing.
Yeah.
So I quit my day job last year in June.
What was the day job?
I was working at the Apple store for 5.5 years. Wow. Part-time. Never. I'm one of these people that I think any job that I got, if I just worked at it, like I always try to do a good job at anything I do.
Yeah.
And they kept telling me like, hey, you should try to get you could be a manager. Like you can do this. And I was just
you're just like, oh,
I'm just going to stay down here at the very bottom.
Yeah.
And eventually I quit, but I've been auditioning for commercials for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I went to theater school, so I just started auditioning for TV shows and films. And in this last 2 years, the fan base has been growing. Yeah. The 30-minute, the one at the colleges though, I feel like took me to another level of confidence and performance. I mean, I had a friend who said, before you left to do the tour,
right,
you were great, but now you're on this level. You're a totally different performer, and you're on stage with this other level of confidence that it's crazy to watch.
It's stage time and it's variety of venue. It's like,
you just learn.
Tonight's a theater. Tomorrow I'm in the corner of the cafeteria.
Shit, yeah. I mean, you just don't know what you're walking into. And you're like, you just learn that you just got to do your act and be confident in your act.
Right.
Because if you're concerned with making every person laugh at every show that you do on the road.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
So I remember the first time I got paid for a gig, it was $20 in bumblefuck Bronx.
Right.
It was like a part of the Bronx that I didn't even know.
You're like $20, amazing.
It was like a little Islip Island. It was like and it was like a lodge, one of these community center lodges.
Like a VFW hall or something.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like a Elks Lodge or something.
It was like that. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Smells weird.
And I did, it was an older crowd, and I did, my 10-minute set, and I didn't do well, and the guy paid me.
Yeah.
And I felt guilty because I said, I don't know if I earned this.
Yeah.
And then you have to, the longer, I think I was speaking to Ali. I was talking to Ali Wong about this at a show. I was like, how do you deal with if you do a show?
Yeah.
And you're getting paid a lot of money to do the show, and then the show doesn't go well. How do you deal with that? Like, do you feel like she's like, no, you got booked. The person booked you because they liked your act.
Right.
They are purchasing your product. You are, right?
Right. That's the moment.
That's the product. They're purchasing your product, right?
Yep.
So you're getting paid regardless. So when I do these college shows, I was like, all right, I'm going to get a check no matter what.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give my product. I'm going to make this worthwhile for me.
Yep.
And, you know, a certain level of neediness goes out the door, because when you first start and you're performing for no money, you're literally performing for nothing else but validation and applause.
Yep. And when you don't get the response, it's like
you take it personally.
Yeah. If you have a great show, you feel great. If you have a crappy show, you feel crappy. It's like,
Do you want to know what I did to help deal with that?
What?
If I don't know if anybody's listening, and I think I might have seen this in the book, or I didn't come up with it myself, but I would give myself grades after each set when I took notes on them.
Okay.
So I would grade myself on different aspects of the set. So timing, presence, material, crowd work, little things like that. So that way, when you look at it that way, in a scientific way, you're not looking at it, did they like me or did they not like me? You look at it, did this work? Did that work? Did this work? Did that work? Right? Because there's comedians, there's performers, if they'll go on, did they like me or did they not like me? You're going to go insane.
It'll drive you nuts. Because literally you perform the same set on a Thursday and it kills. And on a Friday, it's crickets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that ... song that I do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an award-winning song.
It is.
And I would do it at some of the college shows and I would get like nothing.
You're like, what's going on?
And at the end of the song, I'm like, you know, guys, it's very, you know, this is my best song. And so I'll be like, it's so good to be humbled every now and again. You know, because then I will say, like, I know that because my songs sound nice. It's sometimes the crowd is listening to the music. I've done shows where people are into the music more than they are into the jokes. Because my act kind of skirts this line of, right, is this like real music or is this a joke? You know,
well, because it's great music. Like it's a lot of times guys that are doing comedy with guitar playing, it's like they learned 3 chords so they could do a song.
Yeah.
Yours is legit. Like everyone I've talked to about you, and I've surprisingly talked to a lot of people about you recently. Yeah. I'm like, imagine if like a guy who could just make it as a singer was also hilariously funny and could make it as a comedian.
Yeah, that's what my mom says. Why can't you just write songs that are nice? Well, you know, anybody who wants to do music comedy, I'll tell them my approach to it. I start with the melody first. And I start with the music and the melody first. And then I obviously have ideas for concepts of songs. Yep. And jokes that I want to put in it. But if you start with a melody, right, and you know, progression first, then you could honestly sing any jokes on top of it, right? Because the song will still be enjoyable.
Yes, they should be equally good.
Because I think what you're saying is comedians will be like, I have a song about farts and masturbation, right? So I'm going to put these songs or I have a song about masturbating into a cereal bowl, right? I don't personally, but I'm saying that you come up with like something ridiculous. Right. And then, all right, I'm going to write these lines and then I'll do 3 chords and then that's the joke.
And it's like, the music isn't adding anything to that. That joke is a weak.
No, it's,
you know what I mean?
Like, yeah. And that's what gives the music comedy a bad name, because I'll do shows and I would say at least once a week, somebody comes up to me after a show and they're like, you know, man, when you walked on stage with your guitar, I fucking hated you.
I love that.
But I gotta say, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
I love that.
And my songs, I try to make about an idea. So at the beginning, it starts about something simple. Yeah. So I have one song called "Single Now," which is my closer. It's like a 10-minute bit for the most part, and it has a positive message at the end. But it's about when you're talking to somebody at a party for like a half hour, and then a half hour into the conversation, they say, "Oh, my boyfriend." Yeah, you're like, "What?" Yeah, and you're like, "What?" And then, so that's what the song. It's like a story about a guy who. That's fantastic. You know, so there's like 3 acts to this. There's like 3 little verses to this to the song, and it starts with me talking to the girl. I find out she has a boyfriend. Second verse, it's not going too well with her boyfriend. Third verse, she finally breaks up with her boyfriend, and then I give the audience an option to see if they could choose their own ending for the song. Yep. And the happy ending is I actually do end up dating her, but it doesn't go well. Because I try to talk about like why I feel like this isn't what the podcast is about. Like this is dissecting my songs.
No, this is what the podcast is about. This is the Morgan J episode.
Yeah. So,
like we don't get to. When else do you get to tell this story?
I know you're right.
That's what this is all about.
So because what is love about really? Is it about being with somebody, or is it about loving yourself really? Right? Because that's what it's about. That song is about. Can I really love somebody else? But if I don't love myself, none of them are going to work out.
Right.
So that it ends like that. And then I tell the crowd.
Dude, I freaking love it.
So at the end of the show, I was doing these college shows. This never happened to me before, but I end it because I know it's hard to be alive.
Yeah.
And so
life is tough, man.
Yeah. And these college kids, they have it rough because they don't, they have it different than we did, you know, growing up. But they have these really bad inner dialogues. Mm-hmm. And I know what that is like. So I tell them at the end of the show, like, maybe you're like single or maybe you're with somebody, but you got to love yourself. Like you wouldn't go and say you're ugly, you're gross, nobody wants to hang out with you to somebody else. So why do you say it to yourself?
Buddy.
So then I say, you're going to go home and you're going to look yourself in the mirror. And I sing all of this.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, I fucking love you.
Yeah.
And then I got a message from a young boy, man, I guess he's 18, 19. And he said, I cried that night. I cried that night. I feel like I do that. I don't, I think badly about myself. And then I posted a screenshot of that. And then another guy who was at the audience saw it and he was like, yeah, honestly, I had to leave the room during your set because I felt it was hitting me too hard. And so he had to leave, which is good because that means my act is more than just a funny song.
Buddy, and that's
what we want. That's what we want.
That's what we need. That's what the world needs. I swear to you, man. Oh gosh, man. This is you talk about like building like a fan base coming along and being able
ice
to
on your podcast. I'm sorry.
Do it. It's usually me chewing ice. Yeah, I'm an ice chewing fiend.
Oh yeah, me
too.
I'm gonna ruin my teeth.
I had a friend the other day call me on it. He's like, "Dude, you really love chewing ice," and then I got super insecure. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, thinking about all the times I chewed ice.
Yeah,
I'm a broken individual.
Yeah.
I've been performing full time now for 4 years. Right?
You have kids too, right?
I have married and kids.
Wow, dude, I can't. And what does your wife do?
She is a stay-at-home mom.
God, the
we
pressure.
Homeschool.
The pressure, dude. Oh my God, dude. You taking any medicine or what?
I'm not, bro.
Holy
I probably
shit.
should.
You don't smoke weed or anything like that?
I don't. I drink the alcohol.
How much do you drink? You drink a lot?
No.
You have a cocktail every day?
No.
Beer?
No, not every day.
No. Okay.
I have a rule. I don't drink alone.
Your wife must love those cute little dimples you have on your face, dude.
Oh, dude.
Oh, my God.
So both of my girls, I've got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And
sorry,
that was...
Dude. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Dude, I had a friend who, when we had a girl, he's like, bro, you have a boy, you got to worry about one dick.
I heard that.
You got a daughter, you have to worry about all of them. I was like, that was literally the first thing he said when he met our daughter. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
But I don't even know what I was saying.
No,
I'm thinking about my kiddos now.
You have 2 kids.
It is, yeah.
I interrupted you because
the pressure of it.
Both of my brothers have 2 kids, two toddlers, and I'm just like, I go over there for 1 hour. Man. I go over there for 1 hour, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here?
See, my wife and I, and we probably talk about this on your podcast. Yeah. We got married really young.
Yeah.
We had kids young.
Yeah.
I'm only 37. I got a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old, which is why I look 50.
I mean, your hair, you got full great hair. But you look good, dude. You got good skin.
Oh, thanks, man.
You got good skin. I'm all about the...
I gotta,
You'll work it out.
Dude, work it out, bro.
I've been actually exercising for this last month. I swear to God, before I left the house today, I put this t-shirt on. I'm a skinny dude. I'm what you call an ectomorph. Like Brad Pitt.
An ectomorph?
It's hard for me to gain weight.
Jeez, man.
My life is
so rough, bro.
It's so hard.
What's that like?
Oh God, I take Xanax regularly, and no, I don't.
I'm the exact opposite, bro. I just am fat. Like I've been chubby my whole life.
Yeah,
and I'm like
it feels a little tight in this room, to be honest with you. You are taking up a lot of space in this room.
I'm sorry, man. I got a little flops. I'm at the point though where I'm like, I'm a big guy, but I'm not like way fat. I'm not like walked down this, but I'm fat enough. I'm fat enough that I can't make jokes about being one body type.
Yeah.
Like I try. Yeah. I have so much material about being fat. People are like, yeah, I'm fatter than you, so you can't talk.
Did you ever watch 30 Rock?
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin's character has this line about, I think Jenna Maroney her character gains some weight.
Yeah.
But she's in that. She's
yeah.
And he's like, we got to get her out the show. She's either got to gain 30 pounds to be the fat person, or she's got to be, she was like,
dude, I swear.
Do you know what I mean? She's like, you got to make, she either has to be one or the other.
Well, and we're in Southern California, which is weird because it's like, if I went to Montana, I'd be like,
you'd be hot as fuck.
Yeah, dude, I'd be like a friggin' 9 in Montana. Here, I would have to lose 30 pounds to play a fat friend on a TV show.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean, though?
Dude. You're right.
I was watching a show and they had the friend who was fat, and I'm like, dude, that guy looks great.
Nate Bargatze. I love Nate Bargatze. He has this joke about he was watching a promo for the exercise machine, and there was a before and after. And he's like, man, what did that before guy do? I want to get to that, the before guy.
Dude, last week, I don't know what got me thinking about Elvis, but I was like, I've never seen.
Did you watch they have the documentary on HBO that just came out.
No.
Apparently it's very good. I got to watch it.
Oh, I got to watch it too.
Yeah.
Well, I randomly was like, I want to see. I've never seen, like, I would love, I just watched Frank Sinatra's final performance and watching all these, and I was like,
how was that? Was it good?
It was good, man.
Yeah, I bet it was good.
And I was like, I want to see what, like, Elvis's final show. What was that like? Yeah. And I watched it, and I've had in my mind since I was a kid, they're like skinny Elvis, fat Elvis, skinny Elvis, fat Elvis. I'm watching it, I'm like, he looks pretty damn good. Fat Elvis did not look that bad.
Dude, he was just older Elvis.
He was just like, dude, I mean, think about it. He's wearing a spandex jumpsuit. And he doesn't look
how
crazy.
old was he? Like in his 30s, right?
He wasn't that old, man. I don't know.
I'm just saying, it's hard to look good in a spandex jumpsuit, on a base level.
Yeah.
So just cut us some slack.
Bro, I'm so happy with where this podcast is headed.
Yeah, we're having a nice chat. I got my nice styrofoam cup here, chewing ice.
Well, we were talking about this, man, with like, starting to gain.
This is what I wanted to say. I left the house today.
Oh yeah, your t-shirt.
I put this t-shirt on and I was like, wait a second, this feels a little bit tighter on my bicep.
And you were excited?
Yeah, because I gained a little muscle on my arm, man.
That's good.
And I'm still skinny, but I was like,
how funny that our dreams of clothing are opposite. You want it to fit tighter, and I don't
even want it to fit tighter. I just want to look like Brad Pitt from Fight Club. I literally, when I signed up for the gym.
They're like, what are your goals? You're like, I brought some photos. I got some screenshots. Really?
Yes. I swear to God.
That's fantastic.
I signed up at Gold's Gym in Venice. Me and Josh Brolin go to the same gym. No big deal.
Gold's Gym in Venice is
that's
like
the mecca of bodybuilding.
That's like I would feel like you feel like crap right away. It's like everyone in there is like ripped.
Do you know why you don't feel? That's the exact reason why you don't feel bad.
Really?
Because they are so extreme. You see these guys that are enormous.
They've worked out for 4 hours before they walked in the gym to work out.
Just so their veins are popping out. Yeah. So you don't really feel bad about being skinny because every person there is super nice.
Yeah.
They all have different goals. I am not trying to be like them.
Yeah.
I am just trying to have a little definition. I just want to take my shirt off and have a girl go, oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
That's all I want. I don't want to be like a freak with I'm not saying those dudes are freak. I'm just saying
I love it.
that when I signed up at Gold's Gym, I got 8 training sessions just because I didn't want to injure myself doing exercise. I just wanted somebody to
show me how to do this so I don't kill myself with free weights.
Yeah, I don't need much hand holding.
Yeah.
And I came in there with with several photos of Brad Pitt from
Fight Club.
From Fight Club. and I swear to God, the trainer looked at me and he said, I appreciate you bringing this in. I wish more of my clients did that.
Really?
Said it'd make my job so much easier because I could create a program based off of this.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So let that be a lesson to you. If you're looking to go to the gym and you want to look like something, don't be embarrassed to bring in a photo, and don't be embarrassed to have lofty goals, because if you shoot for the moon, or what is it? Shoot for the stars, you might miss and land on the moon. Is that what it is?
That sounds good. I don't know if that's a thing, but it should be. I'd buy a t-shirt with it on it.
Yeah, if you set a high expectation, if you don't achieve it, whatever you do below that will still be good.
That's good.
So
I'm inspired.
Yeah,
I'll probably still go to House of Pies after the show tonight. But.
You should. It doesn't have to treat yourself either. Self-love is better than self-neglect. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I literally every day I'm like, today, that's it. I'm not eating today. I'm going to do like a healthy fast. I'm going to do it like care for myself. Tell myself that I don't need food. I'll go all day long. I'll do a show. 11:30. I'm driving back home and I'm like, Del Taco.
Well, it's honestly small. Do you drink soda?
No.
You don't drink Coca-Cola. Do you? It's honestly just changing small things in your diet.
Yeah.
But you might just be like a fat person.
I might, right?
No, but you're fine. I'm like slowly looking at your body and
that's
inside.
That's cool. Your goal is to look good with your shirt off. My goal is to look good with clothes on.
Yeah, that's actually a good goal. But you see, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Here's the point that I'm glad that we've really.
I don't know where we podcast. Are. I don't know.
This is the point. 43 minutes is usually where we talk about my body issues.
Okay,
so that's great.
Yeah.
With comedy and music, I think it's interesting because you asked about like I do magic and does it have comedy in it?
Yeah.
I've hated for years saying comedy and magic because I mean, have you heard Patton Oswalt's bit about comedy magician? It's fantastic.
Maybe.
It's basically
I do
like
him a lot.
Yeah, he's basically like there was a time where comedy magicians ruled because it was like, are you a shitty comedian? Learn a card trick. Are you a crappy magician? Learn a dick joke.
Yeah.
And it's this idea of like people are doing mediocre magic tricks with mediocre comedy.
Yeah.
And thinking that if you put those two together, it's going to make it better. And it's not at all.
It's not. I think it is.
Well,
I mean, I've seen Justin Williams many a time at shows.
Justin Willman?
Willman.
Yeah.
But
his jokes are good and his magic's good.
Yeah, I mean, if you do good, you do good. I don't fault anybody. If something is entertaining, I don't know why people got to shit on it. If it's like a thing, you know?
Yeah, well, that's the whole like alt thing or club room versus like the guy saying because you had a guitar, he's like, I hate you.
Dude,
that's a thing, right? I mean, that's like legit. Like
I've had
people feel like it's a gimmick or a trick or something. Or
I've had meetings with agents and managers who have seen me perform and murder multiple times, and then on the third or fourth meeting, they're like, I don't know how to sell you. Like, do you do comedy or do you do music or like what? I just want to know what I'm investing in, and I want to know.
They're trying to put you in a box, and it's like, well, no one else is doing it. Maybe that's why you should put your money behind.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, hey, I'm a classically trained actor. I can sing. I can tell jokes.
Yeah.
I can act. I can dance if you want me to.
Right.
I don't see why you wouldn't want to sign me and send me out for stuff.
Right.
So I'm going to quit, I think. Nobody wants to work with me.
Well, good. We've reached the goal of this podcast, which is to get people to give up.
I know the name of your podcast is About to Break, and I honestly feel like I am about to break at some point in the next year or two. And in some capacity, like I'm just waiting for the right person to see me.
Yeah.
And it would feel good if I just did one set at the Improv Lab and Adam Sandler was in the crowd. The point I was saying is like, these guys, they don't know how to sell you, but then you can give them multiple examples of successful Adam Sandler, Garfunkel and Oates, Stephen Lynch, Reggie Watts, Bo Burnham.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So for them to say, I don't know, it just seems a little bit, dumb to me.
Yeah.
So that's what bothers me. And for anybody listening, if you think you have something good and people don't know, a good friend of mine said basically what you said. Your act, when they tell you if your act is so unique and special that nobody knows what to do with it, that's a good thing.
Oh yeah,
it means that there is no box to check, and you've created the box.
Right, and it's also you're not just selling a commodity like we're not just hiring a musician or we're not just hiring a stand-up. They go, we want Morgan because nobody else does what he does.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
That's good, buddy.
So
it's funny, man, the point that I'm at with magic. So like I make my living, pay for my family to live. We're good.
Yeah.
But I do shows that people didn't come to see. Like I don't have a fan base.
Sure.
I work corporate events. I do some college stuff, but there's this moment where it's like you're making money, but you're borrowing an audience from other people.
Yeah, but I think there is space for nowadays, like I want to say a middle-class performer.
Yeah.
Because everybody can build an audience or find their audience or find people to perform in front of. It's so easier to do it now. Back in the 90s, there was like 5 movie stars.
Right.
And now there's like 100 YouTube stars and 100.
Right. Oh, yeah.
There's a bunch of musicians that are performing at Coachella that never had a label. It was all built off of something else.
Yeah.
So the internet has kind of democratized that and made it possible to be a middle class. I honestly think that's good.
You said before you wanted to be like a Jimmy Fallon or like
for a while I was like I wanted to do that,
and now you're like, if you could just make a good living and create art, you feel good about that.
I mean, in Dave Chappelle's Inside the Actor's Studio, I think he told his father that he wanted to be a comedian.
Yeah,
and he said, "Well, what's your goal?" And Dave Chappelle said, "I'm racist." Dave Chappelle said. He told his dad, like, honestly, because his dad was a teacher, he was like, if I can make your salary, a teacher's salary, I'd be happy. And his dad was like, yeah, you'll be pretty successful. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So if you go with that attitude, and I think I went into it with the wrong attitude, like I want to be this big.
Yeah.
And then it changed as it became more about the work, I find a lot of joy and excitement now in writing the song.
Yeah.
I find a lot of frustration in it.
Yeah. In
crafting it. But when I am excited about it, I feel so excited. Like if I try a new song, let's say I do this tonight, and if the 5 people who show up enjoy it, I'm jazzed.
It'll be 3.
I'm going to be, I don't care. I'll be thrilled. I'll be thrilled, you know? So that's what I'll say with regards to that. I don't know what we're talking about, but.
Do you with your.
Middle class artist. I think when I say that, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think
it's not a bad thing,
because there's so many artists who want to make a living doing it,
right? And
now there is an opportunity to do that.
It's no longer you have to be a household name to make a living performing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
100%, and I feel that way. Like I made more money doing comedy in the last year than I did working at the Apple Store. So
that's amazing.
I'm happy.
That's amazing.
I do have a roommate and I am 31, so that, I did not think that would be happening, but it's okay. But honestly, it is okay. And I'd say this to anybody who's in LA or New York or Chicago or San Francisco or Austin, in those major cities who are struggling. For the majority of your family and friends back home, who live in a small town. Right. I come from a suburb in New Jersey outside of New York City. For those people, they already see you as a success because if you live, like it's already an achievement to live in a city like this.
Oh yeah.
Even if you're eating ramen, like I'll have friends like, look at you over there in LA living.
Yeah, your monthly rent is like 6 months rent where they live.
and they'll say that to you. I mean, I have friends who are like, hey man, you could buy a house here in outside of Wyoming, and
you're like, yeah, but I'd be in Wyoming.
Yeah, you'd be in Wyoming, and I'm also comfortable with the fact that this is as successful as I might ever be. And I always say that with every level that I get to. Yeah. Because you have to think of it like that. Because if you are always it's good to be ambitious, but you also have to enjoy life. And you won't do that if you're constantly struggling to think, why am I got to be there now? Right. I got to be there. Because then you learn, I learned at what level of validation is it enough?
Dude, that's so good. My wife had to call me on that because I'm notorious for being like, we're going to do this and it's going to be great. And then we do that. And then it's another thing and it's another thing. And I recently, maybe within the last 2 years, I was talking to her about, I want to do this and, and it's going to be great. And then she goes, are you going to be happy then? Yeah. Like,
well, the girl I'm seeing, she's the same. She has the same issue right now. She got a job at The Real, which is a big TV show. Yeah. And she's like, this can't be my life. This is like, she was like, she got what she wanted. Right. And I think people got to think about what would you do if you got what you wanted? Yeah. Would you be happy? Right. I'll be honest with you. I always wanted to do college tours. I did 30 schools. I was on the road alone for a month. It's
not as great.
And I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I don't want to do that. And I feel bad because I know. Also, I say that with a huge heaping of gratitude because I am aware at how lucky I am to do that. To be...
But that's the job.
To be in the middle, literally in the middle of the country in Kansas. Yes. In a small town with a school of 300 people to perform for 30 people. Right. And get paid well.
Good money.
Yeah, I understand. I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, I'm like, in the long run, I'd like to be able to just stay in LA and do that. So what I'm saying, you'll learn if you get what you want, are you going to be happy, And then you have to figure out what will make you happy.
Yeah. And I think that translates to everybody.
Every profession.
I mean, you look at, again, going back to Instagram or Facebook, everybody's going, I wish I lived in that house. I wish I was on vacation there.
Yeah.
And, everybody's planning for some great thing that's going to happen someday.
Sure. 100%.
And people retire and then they die the next day because it's like, they just spend their whole life trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, my brother, he works a corporate job at Verizon.
Yeah.
And he has 2 kids, a wife. His wife is a pharmacist. They have a house in New Jersey in the suburbs, 2-car garage.
Yeah.
Backyard. He said, my job is whatever.
Yeah.
But, my children are my happiness.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like pretty simple for him.
Yeah. And that's fine. That's his joy.
That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
He has a different journey and he knows things that I don't. He's been with the same woman since college.
Yeah.
Me, I always struggle to hold down a relationship.
Yeah.
And my journey's a lot different. I know things that he does not,
Yep.
So I know what it's like to, have had a threesome multiple times. You know what I mean?
Dude, that should be a podcast. How to have it multiple times.
No.
Everyone's like, this poor guy.
But here's
so
the thing.
Skinny.
But here's the thing.
He's having threesomes.
No, I'll be honest with you. I did that and I wasn't happy.
Isn't it funny when you think you want something and then you go,
I wasn't. That didn't fulfill me.
Yeah.
So then you try to do all these things. I mean, even Russell Brand has a whole book about this.
Yeah.
Because he was doing cocaine and fucking everybody and doing drugs and he did everything.
And then
when he was still unhappy. So then.
Yep.
You're left with this void. In my song, I talk about it. You're just left with this void, and you're like, well, I'm not going to find it out there, so it's got to come from in here. And by that, I'm pointing at my wiener when I said that. No, it's come from your heart. It's got to come from your heart.
Dude, that's so good, man.
So
I love it. I love, dude, that you're doing the thing you love, but you also are trying to encourage people in the process. That's like everybody's journey is their own, and you've got to run in your own lane and figure out what.
I'm telling you, if you're somebody who wants to get into comedy, it's really easy to go to one open mic and then have some bitter dude discourage you right away. I remember the first year I was here, a kid did an open mic at the Acme Comedy Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still?
That's
still
in North Hollywood, right?
No, it's in, at least when I was there. I haven't been there in a while, but it's on La Brea. And it's near the La Brea Bakery. It's near La Brea and Wilshire.
Gotcha.
And there was an open mic there. We went to the open mic. The kid went to the open mic. He just moved here from Boston. He was like 21, and he came to me. He's like, "Hey man, do you know how to get an agent? Like, how do I get?
He's hungry.
I think I should get an agent. Like, how do I get on the TV? Like, he literally was just that.
Yeah.
And
I'm here. I bought the ticket.
And somebody who's been doing it a while can honestly have been so like laughed in his face, and I was not about to do that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look, man, it's pretty hard. And I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you what. I didn't give him a full thing, but I'm like, it's going to take a lot longer than I need. I'm going to get an agent now.
Yeah.
If that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know one of my first friends in comedy was this student in his 40s, Francesco Marciliano.
Okay. Who
was a humorist and he drew like funny cartoons and he would come to the shows and open mics and he was just like the nicest dude to me.
Yeah.
And I can, I think about that I think about that a lot. Just the people that were nice to you when you started out, it means a lot because it's really easy to meet somebody who's who's bitter and angry and takes it all out. Who didn't make it or whose friends made and they didn't. And so they're going to take it out on you and tell like, you can't do it. I didn't do it, so you can't do it.
Right.
So it's easy to meet those people and it's easy to be discouraged, but you just got to keep doing it.
That's so good.
If you want to, of course. Obviously, if you don't want to,
figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, the girl I'm seeing, she's really funny, and I'm trying to get her to do. And she's really cute, and I'm trying to get her to do stand up. She's done it a couple times, and she killed it. And she is getting booked on shows at the store. I'm not even getting booked. I'm not getting booked on shows at the store. And she's good.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to encourage her to do it. And the thing is, she doesn't like to do it. She's like not into it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if she doesn't like to do it, she doesn't have to do it,
Well, and it's so good too. Like most people would, not most people, but some people, like you're saying, have this negative attitude of like, if she takes a spot, that's a spot I'm not getting. So they don't try to help other people because they feel like it's competition or there's not enough to go around. And it's like everybody everybody take care of everybody and we all eat, you know?
Yeah, there's another musical comedian. There's actually a couple out here in LA. And right now he's getting all these opportunities that I wish I was getting.
Yeah.
And I was complaining about it to a friend of mine, and we were talking about Montreal and about how they're not really the Montreal Comedy Festival. And they're not really, I didn't get an audition this year. I haven't auditioned for it for like 3 or 4 years now. And I'm not too upset about it, but I'd like to audition for it at the least.
Yeah.
But one of my friends was saying, oh yeah, the last 2 musical comedians who did Montreal, they didn't do that well. So I don't know if they're really jazzed about musical comics at the moment, which goes to show, rather than be like, hate on a person,
you should want them to be as good as they can be.
If they succeed in Montreal,
yes,
then that leads the way for me to do well there.
Yep.
And the stigma to go away.
Right.
So when they don't do as well, then I have to work even hard. Not to say it's not, you should work hard, but I'm just saying, you're fighting less.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this about magicians, is good magicians are not your competition. If you're a magician, bad magicians are the ones that are going to put you out of work, because people have somebody and they have a bad experience, puts a bad taste in their mouth. They're like, we tried that. We're not going to have a magic act anymore.
That's why that's why I always get those people who are like, oh, I thought your music comedy was going to suck.
Yeah.
Because you see all those people who are like, farts and farts and farts out of my butt. And you're like, that's a good song, actually.
You're like, hold on, guys.
I'm just kidding.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe it. We're friggin' at an hour, dude.
All right, cool.
It would normally not stop us.
No, it's good.
But we got a show that we're going to do.
We could always do it another time. It's all good.
Tell people how they can get a hold of you. How can they find your podcast?
Instagram is @MorganJ. That's Jay.
Yep.
Twitter is @TheMorganJ. YouTube is youtube.com/MorganIsEthnic. That's an old one. I would have liked to have changed, but that's what it is now.
It is what it is.
That's Morgan is Ethnic, and the podcast is Relationship Status with Morgan J.
Yep.
We put that out every Monday. I put it out every Monday.
Yeah.
Every Monday morning. And the next episode we're putting out, I don't know, when are you putting this out?
This will go out a week from tomorrow. So that would be...
Oh yeah, so the next episode we're putting out, which will come out shortly before yours. Yeah. I think I'm going to put this episode about this couple. They talk about domestic violence in their own relationship. And it was really fascinating because it's not the man hitting the woman, it's the woman hitting the man.
Wow.
And turning that stigma on its heels. And we talk about that a little bit in 2 very funny comics. And it was a really great conversation. So I highly recommend it.
Love it. Guys, if you're listening right now, click on the wonderful graphic there of Morgan. Yes. You'll see him in his shirt that fits very nicely.
Oh, gosh.
And just click on that picture. It'll flip around. There will be show links there, and I'll put links to everything that we just mentioned there. Go subscribe to his podcast. Give it 5 stars.
Please.
On all the things.
Please do.
And the likes and the thumbs ups and all that.
Taylor, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Man, thank you for doing this. And now we're going to do a show. We're getting ready to do a show.
I'm going to practice my song out there, and hopefully it's not a disgusting display.
It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Guys, go check out Morgan.